Cool. Happy Friday, everyone. Nice to see you all. Um, First timers, every Friday we go over breath exercises and just a real quick sort of concept around breathing, an overall sort of reason why yogis did this, why we would do this as sort of like modern practitioners. But yogis believe that at the heart of our experience, like life itself, there is a unique revelation that only human beings can uh, experience firsthand and discover, and that is the realized understanding of why we exist as an individual, what life is, and sort of the great purpose of existence. And so these are like deeply philosophical existential questions that philosophers for the scope of human history have played with and dabbled with, but have never come to sort of a complete or unified consensus. And so, for that reason, we have a world of philosophical beliefs and a range of moral principles, and life guidelines in which we have the right to sort of move through and experiment with. But yogis believe that these questions can be answered not through the intellect, but by encountering the answer itself, as if it were almost like a substance. And that or landscape. And that substance or landscape is known as Atman, or the soul. And what that equates to the best or the most easily is the experience of consciousness within us. And so a lot of meditation and mindfulness really helps us uh, learn to recognize the difference between what we perceive and the force of perception that perceives it. And in that, we realize that we're sort of this tapestry of sensory experience, memories, and perception itself. But the more we can connect to this raw awareness, those answers, those great answers can be authentically fulfilled. Or those great questions can be authentically fulfilled. So we need a lot of energy to make our way into that space. And so the yogis would huff and puff and hold their breaths to collect all of this prana, this life force, to focus their minds in this really unnatural way. And they realized that through that, they were more successful at recovering these answers. Why do I exist? Who am I really? What is the point of life? What is life itself? And so they would huff and puff to get to this space. But what's going on biologically? And as a meditation teacher, it's always interesting to sort of approach this practice through pretty much three different directions. The philosophical reasoning, which is what the yoga is really about, the biological reality, so what's actually going on when we're doing our poses or meditating or breathing in these intense ways, and then the experiential sort of direction. It's like, what does this do for me? Why does this actually matter to me as an individual? What can I do with it? And so, what we're going to do today is we're going to hyperventilate. We're going to inhale a lot, exhale a lot, and pull a lot more oxygen into our blood. And it's not really by a lot, it's actually not a lot. The saturation of oxygen in our cells is always anywhere from 95 to 99%. Our bodies are regulating themselves with unconscious brilliance. And so by just increasing the level of oxygen by a percentage or so, we really feel this intense and dramatic change. But as we pull all this oxygen into our body, a small percentage increases. Our brain recognizes that change and it starts to pump blood out of our skulls and into the rest of our body. What also starts to happen in our brain is different segments of the brain start to turn on and off. And so the prefrontal cortex, right? So this is where our awareness exists. It starts to shut down as we pull more and more oxygen into our bloodstream. And as it shuts down our intellect. And as our intellect shuts down, we give ourselves the opportunity to experience life in a biological and philosophical way without the unconscious questions. Every moment you want to consider, when you're reaching for, let's say, a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and you drink a lot of coffee, and you for whatever reason, you don't want to drink caffeine because you heard something about that. It's like, underneath all of that motivation, there is the questioning of who am I? What do I want to do with life? What is the great purpose of life? These concepts are orbiting in the unconscious. So as we start to shut down our prefrontal cortex by breathing deeply, those questions literally cease to exist in our experience. And in that, we sort of have this blissful moment of questionlessness. And that is what the yogis are really sort of touching, is a questionless zone. Oh, the chiming. Yeah, let me see if I can turn that off for everybody. Perfect. Here we go. Okay, so we have the philosophical reason. Yogis are trying to touch the great answers to the questions of life. The biological effect of this breathing technique, this hyperventilation, is oxygen saturation and then shutting down the prefrontal cortex. And then the reason, like, why do we do this as individuals? I would hope, it's for the sheer adventure of it. It's like we have this opportunity to exist. We have one opportunity. If there is a path, a tested path that provides answers to the greatest questions the human mind can ask, you know, I feel like only a fool would not give some time, a few decades of their life to moving in that direction. But a more practical reason is the more time we spend within ourselves, it seems that the better we are as individuals conducting our own lives and making our own choices with a certain swiftness and confidence. So the more we can shut down our intellect and second guessing the second guessing of ourselves, the easier it is to just sort of be ourselves. So 1, 2, 3: philosophy, biology, and sort of the personal motivation. Let's get into the work now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you a little example. You're going to inhale deeply through the mouth just to pull in a lot more oxygen. Traditionally, this breath technique is sort of taught through the nose, but the mouth will do just fine. Full inhales, full exhales. And so often our exhales are a bit slower. To ensure that you're pushing out all the air you can, counting is a really useful accountability tool. And so I'm going to inhale very quickly, something like 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to exhale very quickly, something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll just do this about 10 times in front of you. So if you want to get into like a little meditative position, relax yourself. Okay, so this is called Bellows Breath or Bastrika Pranayam. It's an inspiratory exercise, meaning you're developing your capacity to inhale. Nice tall spine. You want to lift your ribs away from your hips to create space for your diaphragm, right? The muscle underneath the lungs to actually move. I'm going to do about 10 breaths. Mouth is open. Okay, and that's sort of it. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna do 2 rounds of 2 minutes each, and after that 2 minutes, I'll give you the cue. You're gonna exhale and hold your breath as you exhale. Before that, we're gonna do a little sort of like grounding exercise. We're gonna move through interval meditation. If you haven't been, here when I taught interval meditation, it's very simple. We're gonna meditate for 1 minute, very short, 30 seconds, even shorter, 2 breaths, even shorter, and then 1 breath. And by reducing your meditative experience to a single breath, you're going to feel what it's like to really commit to what I think of as 1 unit of meditation, which is a round of respiration, and see what a perfect unit of meditation is. And at that point, we'll just spend a couple minutes breathing through perfect units, perfect inhales and exhales, super focused, and then I'll cue you to get into the breath exercise or the pranayama work. Cool. So happy you all are here. Happy Friday. Let's get into this. Comfortable seated position. And let's build our posture. So if you're on the floor or in a chair or on a couch, roll your hips forward so your back and your torso is unsupported. And as you tilt your hips forward, you should feel a little sort of tightening and muscular action in your thighs and the back of your legs. And as you tilt your hips forward, the spine lifts. Beautiful. Relax your shoulders away from your skull. Rest your wrists on your knees and then straighten your arms completely, rotating your elbows towards the floor so your palms are pointing up to the sky. And what you want to appreciate about this arm posturing is, one, as you rotate your elbows down, it broadens your chest. And as you broaden your chest, you are communicating to yourself through your body and anyone who's looking at you that you are healthy and you are powerful and you are confident, at least in this moment. The other reason regarding your arms is the structure. Press your wrists a little bit more into your knees, and that's going to help you lift your chest. So your arms become stilts to support the upward growth of your spine. Bring a random finger to each thumb. This is aesthetic. When I look at your hands in the mudra, it tells me that you're conscious, that you're holding your body with a mysterious intention. Shut your jaw, press your tongue into the back of your two front teeth. Relax your face. Okay, now breathe deeply. Hold perfect stillness, which is a commitment to self-control. Your body is designed to move. To arrest that movement means you are overriding your instincts. Let's meditate for 1 minute. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Do your best to just feel the experience of your breath without analyzing it, judging it, and certainly without becoming distracted. As you inhale, there is a wakefulness in your body. As you exhale, there is a familiar calm in your body. Notice some part of your mind wants to overlook the experience of your breath because it's so ordinary. But a hallmark of a meditator, of an artist, of someone who is in love with their reality is they pay attention to the details. Now, with your next breath in, open your eyes and just repeat as you open your eyes, you are no longer meditating. As you exhale, close your eyes and feel this return to meditative space. As the eyes open, I am no longer meditating. As you exhale, close your eyes. There's this return to a meditative experience. And so meditation is about internalizing our awareness. When the eyes opened, they naturally ran out into the world, and you felt that difference. Return to the breath, deep inhales, deep exhales. With your next inhale, again, open your eyes. As the eyes open, identify the experience. I am no longer meditating. Then patiently close your eyes as you exhale and just acknowledge, I've returned to a meditative space. As you open your eyes, with your next inhale, same process. I'm no longer meditating. As you exhale, slowly close your eyes. And now just take one breath. Slow it down. Feel more, think less. And after that single breath, inhale, open your eyes. I'm no longer meditating. Exhale, close your eyes. And again, replicate that single breath. And notice how present you are, how well established your focus is, because a single breath isn't overwhelming. And just consider if you replicated this breath for 30 minutes, you would certainly have had a powerful meditative experience. But you might question if it was possible, if that level of focus can be retained for that long a time. And so do your breath. Just take it one breath at a time. Okay. Now I'm going to overview the philosophical reasoning behind hyperventilating. Notice that every time you inhale, there's a little boost in alertness and wakefulness. That is because a new wave of oxygen is coming into your body, and also because your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response, is triggered in a really gentle way every time you breathe in. And so the yogis took advantage of this physiological response, and by hyperventilating, attempted to harvest this wakefulness by manipulating their respiration and manipulating their nervous system. And so the three phases you might go through as you start to hyperventilate are: one, an emotional or intellectual rejection of the experience. You're not going to want to participate fully. And that's a flight response. That's fear. Instead of running from a tiger, you're running from the technique itself. If you keep participating, you'll enter a fight response. Your body will open, the blood vessels will dilate, your nerves will settle into the intensity, and all of a sudden you'll start to feel a tingling and a buzzing. As your body starts to change and you feel tingling, buzzing, lightheadedness, dizziness, take that as a good sign. Okay, so here it goes. I'm going to open my mouth. Everyone open their mouth. Once you hear me breathing, get ready to inhale fully. Count quickly. Double that count as you exhale. 1, 2, 3. Full breath in. Good work. Let the mouth get dry. Try to open the throat. Notice the first phase is mental rejection. This is strange. This is uncomfortable. Some part of me is rejecting the process. Just notice it in the mind. It's there in all of us. Once you notice that rejection, you have the power to overcome it. Start to breathe more deeply. Keep going. Open mouth, full inhales, full exhales. Start to pay attention. Once the rejection subsides, there is a willingness to participate. Imagine you're sprinting through a field. Start to tap into the excitement, the wakefulness, and alertness that's coming through this breath technique. At this point, tingling, buzzing, lightheadedness, physiological changes as a small percentage of your oxygen saturation increases. Blood is being pumped out of your head, that's the dizziness. Notice an absence of thought, that's the prefrontal cortex shutting down. All good signs, about 30 more seconds. Full inhales, full exhales. Notice the sense of aliveness The yogis of the past played with these techniques and thought they were collecting life energy. Let's take a full breath in, full breath out. Hold your breath with nothing in your lungs. Hold your breath with nothing in your lungs. Relax your face, adjust your posture mindfully, sit with confidence, and just feel. Hold your breath for as long as you can. When you need to inhale, take a full breath in, and then hold your breath again. When you must inhale, full breath in, hold your breath again. Relax. Tingling sensation, buzzing sensation, mental quiet. If you haven't inhaled yet, take a full breath in, hold your breath. If you're breathing normally, return back to that perfect unit of meditation. Steady inhale, steady exhale, wherever you are. The simple game of this practice is to feel instead of think. If you're purely feeling, you're not moving because you're not reacting, because you're not thinking about things as being uncomfortable. If you're still holding your breath with your lungs full of air, exhale, breathe normally. Hold perfect stillness and feel your body return back to homeostasis, the proper levels of oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. It feels good. Okay, round 2 coming up. Open the mouth, lift the chest, create space for the diaphragm to move. 3, 2, 1. Full breath in, full breath out. 2 minutes here. Notice the phases of the breath technique. A flight response, a fear response. Fully commit to the process. Let the body absorb the technique. Imagine you're running down a hill. Try to pick up on the exhilaration. Tilt your hips forward, lift the chest more, empower your posture. Breathe in more deeply, be sure to count. The second phase is the body opens to the process. And now it's about how much air I can pull in. The third phase, physiological change, tingling, buzzing, lightheadedness, and dizziness. Focus on those sensations. They're exciting, euphoric, enlivening. 1 more minute here. Big inhales. Every inhale should open your chest, should force your spine to extend just a little. Good work. Good work. I notice that part of our minds that doubts ourselves, doubts what's unknown, questions what is unique. 10. Keep going. 9. Good work. 8. 7. Think about having a panic attack. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Full breath in, full breath out. Hold your breath with nothing in your lungs. Now hold perfect stillness and just focus on the tingling and buzzing inside your body. When you need to inhale, and hold your breath for as long as you can. Take a full breath in and hold your breath again for as long as possible. Feeling instead of thinking. This is your body. It's not just something to use, but something to understand, something to be intimate with. If you're still holding your breath, take a big breath in and hold again. Once you start to breathe normally, this is the most important part. Once you start to breathe normally, do not move. And actually feel the inner workings of your blood chemistry return back to balance. If you're still holding your breath with your lungs full, exhale, start to breathe normally, and everyone return back to that perfect unit of meditation. Let's all focus on the center of our chest. Slow down your breathing. It makes sense that the answers to those unanswerable questions are beyond the intellect. The more you can restrain your thoughts, not judge, not analyze, not observe, and just feel your own body, those answers emerge. What am I? I am this thing that I feel. What is my purpose? To experience this thing that I am. And now just take a second to listen. Hear the normal, boring sounds of your space. The ceiling fan, the hum of a computer, the sprinkling of birds or the wind. And as always, the evidence is in our emotional response. It should be easier to appreciate the moment you have. Now that you've collected a little bit more oxygen, shut down your intellect, or to the yogis, collected prana, life force, to sit closer to the soul, Atman. And so this is the fruit of the work. Focus on your appreciation for the experience you have. And just take 3 perfect units of meditation, 3 perfect breaths, completely absorbed in your gratitude. And then bring your hands to heart center and just acknowledge that it's not often that you allow yourself to touch the level and quality of that gratitude. We're not compelled as animals biologically or as citizens socially to look in this direction. The only space that might compel us is the realm of religion. But yoga is a process that utilizes the body to open this space to anyone that has a body and is willing to explore it, so that we can touch for ourselves the virtues of humanity. And then, if we're lucky, answer the great questions of the human mind. So bring your thumb knuckles to third eye center, press your thumbs into the skin of your forehead, always ending with technique, and just try to focus every bit of your awareness onto the prick of your thumbs touching your forehead. And then as the mind focuses, just echo into it these questions. Who am I? What is my purpose? What is life? And as the answer comes back as a resounding, I don't know, we can appreciate the mystery that lingers inside us all. And that's an exciting revelation. Let's take one more inhale. Super slow exhale. And as you release your hands to your knees, nice tall spine, open your eyes. I am no longer meditating. I'm back into the myopic experience of my own knowledge. In the numbness of the day to day. Most of our time is spent in this really sort of placid numb zone. We don't feel too many highs. We're not sort of exuberantly happy. We're not, down in the pits of depression. Those are unique moments in our lives. So it's valuable to appreciate that we actually live in a gray zone. And through meditating, finding that focus and internalizing, collecting a little oxygen to amp us up, and then directing ourselves into emotion, we can actually remember how much emotion we all actually have. Cool, everyone. You have a beautiful rest of your day. If you want to sort of carry this on through the rest of your day and, make your next 12 hours or so harmonic with what you just did, just look out into the world and from time to time, ask those questions. What is life? And as you look out, it's like, yeah, it's trees, it's the sky, it's my apartment, it's my home, it's my routine. But more than that, I don't know. And really appreciating that we don't know anything and that so much of life is mysterious and beyond us. It's not a bad thing at all. It's actually super inspiring and sort of chips away at the plague of boredom and disinterest that I think a lot of us might be dealing with now since we're all in quarantine, but also just sort of what plagues the human mind in general. So I don't know is this really beautiful position to stand within. Cool, everyone. Super happy you did that. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or if that was confusing or jarring, for sure, feel free to ask. And beyond that, have an awesome day. See you later.